Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's edition of WCM's Park Update Supplier Showcase. Every week here on Thursdays, we talk with some really cool suppliers and people that are impacting our industry in a big way. And I'm excited to talk with Jill Holland, founder and CEO of their newest venture, CampersCard, that we're going to talk about today. Joel, some people probably know you from Harvest Host. In fact, a lot of our campground partners are going to recognize that name. Talk a little bit about, it's sort of the same brainchild. You're behind this. We've got a different team for CampersCard in place, but it's really sort of your vision into the marketplace. Give us a brief history of, why you started CampersCard and, how you got started.
Sure. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. As you know, we love this community, this industry. Personally, my family and I are big RVers. So we actually just got back from a nice kind of spontaneous 2-month RV trip around the country. And we're now back home preparing for child number 2 to arrive. So I've got some time to sit at a desk, but I already missed the open road. But yeah, so our mission at Harvest Host is really simple, and we're very clear about it. It's to make happier campers and happier communities. And both parts of that are very important. And so Harvest Hosts was, the first foray into that mission, making RVers happier by giving them unique places to stay, museums to see, wineries, breweries, basically stops along their traditional route. Now, the traditional route for most RVers, myself included, means staying at traditional campgrounds, right? Campgrounds are the biggest part of every RVer's toolkit. So, our members on average spend 4 nights a year at a Harvest Host location, and then they spend between 30 to 60 at campgrounds. And so as Harvest Host got started and got bigger, the goal has always been to incorporate campgrounds into the umbrella and to start supporting them as part of the happier communities component, and to make our RVers happier by showing them great campgrounds where they could stay along the way. And so CampersCard was launched only a couple months ago. We already have close to 1,000 campgrounds in the program. I think we're going to hit 1,000 here in the next within the next month. And the idea is these are high quality campgrounds. So we're not letting everybody in. We're actually reviewing each application and making sure that there are certain criteria that are met, which includes on social media people like the campgrounds. They're in good locations. They've got some good some sort of amenities, right? These are not trailer parks, and they're not parking lots. Like, these are actual campgrounds. And so, we launched the program, only a few short weeks ago. We've had thousands of people join. It's a very inexpensive program. It's like $30 a year for members. And then that gets you discounts and perks at everything in our network. And so, it ranges from a 10% discount for your entire stay. Some campgrounds offer, 40, 50% night one discounts. Some offer some interesting perks like early check-in and late check-out, or a welcome amenity, or a discount in the shop. The key thing is that we let campgrounds decide what they want to offer. We don't heavy hand. We don't say you have to offer this, you have to offer that. It's whatever you want. So if you have a campground and you have extra space that you're trying to fill, just let us know, if there's some sort of incentive that we can pass along to our members, and then we'll put you on our map. And as they're searching, they'll start to see your campground. The other really important thing to mention is that this program is entirely free for campgrounds. We never charge campgrounds to join. We don't charge you to stay in the program. It's not like, there's just no catch to it. It's a completely free program. The idea is you'll get more business from our members, and we don't ask for anything in return other than some sort of discount or perk. Right. So some incentive to make our members excited to visit, but that's it. There's no payment otherwise. So if that's interesting, you can join on camperscard.com. It's a really easy application process, and, stay in the program as long as it's fun. But I think you'll be impressed. We have quite a lot of members, and they're making a lot of reservations, like millions a year. And we'd love to send some of this traffic your way.
And as you mentioned, Joel, over 1,000 parks, or close to that at this point, 47 states, 4 Canadian provinces. What's really the advantage to this as a park owner as the program continues to grow? New parks are coming every day. You have a huge group of RVers that you're trying to market this to. So really, where do you project this going out over the next year and beyond? And what are you doing to continue to grow the program, add more consumers, and really getting campers involved with private campgrounds?
Yeah. So, in answer to the first part of the question, it's really simple. The benefit to campgrounds is that this is a free marketing program. That's it. So as you're looking at your marketing toolkit on, how do we get the word out about our campground, we would say just throw CampersCard in the mix. It's not exclusive. We're not asking you to be exclusive to our program. So if you're using other discount programs and they work, that's great. Keep doing it. Maybe you're doing some search engine advertising, whatever you're doing, look at this as a complement to it. The nice thing is it's a free complement. So you can just add this into the toolkit. Now, as far as how we're continuing to build the program, we have a team that's dedicated to campground recruiting. So you've probably noticed us at a lot of the state campground association meetings, anything related to Woodalls. Of course, we're trying to be boots on the ground and involved. And I think we've joined most of the state camping associations now. So we're a paid member of the associations. We're trying to show that, we're on the campground side. The whole point of this program is to help campgrounds make more money. That's all there is to it. And of course it makes our RV members happy. So everyone wins. We right now have 250,000 Harvest Host members, many of whom are starting to join the program. But we also have a total of almost 1 million RVers within our network, from our magazine to our podcast, to our RV Hacks and Humor newsletter. We've got a lot of different things for RVers. And so between all of them, 1 million RVers, and we're telling all of them about CampersCard. And then we're telling all of them about the campgrounds in it. So that's going to keep growing. That's going to keep growing. So our goal as we go forward is to add more campgrounds and add more members so that everyone's happy.
Exactly. And Joel, I'm going to put on the screen here the really easy page that you have on the CampersCard site where parks can actually go fill out that form to get in touch with somebody on your team to be able to go and list their park. That's probably the biggest objection that I know from being at these shows too. You sort of hear that of well, it could be a part of my marketing plan, but is it hard? Do I have to be doing all of this stuff all of the time on top of everything that I'm trying to do to run my park? And I'll tell you, the answer is no, but can you just talk about that too of, what's that process like to go from raising their hand and saying yes to actually going and listing within the CampersCard program?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked because I know that campgrounds are beyond busy, right? And that's an understatement. So campgrounds and campground owners and managers, they have enough going on and they don't need yet another technology program that takes time. So CampersCard, as you see on the screen, it's literally this easy. You fill out a form. Some really nice person from our team will reach out and just confirm the details. Say, okay, I just want to make sure you want to be in the program. And our team will build your landing page for you. So they'll pull up photos from your site, maybe ask you for some if we need more. They'll confirm your profile and then they'll publish it live. So you don't need to do anything as a campground owner other than fill out the form. You're not responsible for any of the updates, the technology. There's no obviously booking system. I shouldn't say obviously. I should state clearly, there's no extra booking system here. We're just sending traffic to your existing booking system. So whatever you're using, ResNexus, New Book, it doesn't matter. We're just going to basically send people to your system to book on your website or give them your phone number if you prefer phone reservations. And that's it. It's really that simple. There's no extra program you have to use, no calendar software, nothing. It's as simple as we'll put you on the map. People will see the discount or perk that you're offering, say, 10% whole stay at this really nice park. They'll look at your photos. They'll see the amenities you have. They'll click a link, which takes them to your website to book the reservation. And it's really quite that simple.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll mention as well, we do have a decent size consumer base who follows us here at Woodalls. And I know you guys have some exclusive, or maybe not exclusive, but additional, I should say, partnerships and benefits with companies like Universal Studios or Disney that I even saw there. And as you said, you're starting to see a lot of attrition from Harvest Host members starting to use both, right? They're already doing that journey. They're staying at unique accommodations for maybe one night along the way. And a lot of times they are continuing to go and camp at these private campgrounds across the country. So talk about, as a consumer, besides the discount that the park might be giving, what some of the other things that are involved with those additional benefits if they were to sign up and become a member?
Yes. So the main draw, of course, are the discounts. Probably number one is the discounts to the campgrounds, right? So in this day and age, inflation's hot. People are more budget conscious than ever, but they want to keep camping. And so offering a discount is meaningful, and that gets people excited to visit. The perks are the next, most interesting thing. As RVers are like, ooh, sometimes we want to show up early. Is that okay? Sometimes we need to do a phone call and leave a little later, right? Like more and more people are working from the road, and so the ability to check out late can be really meaningful. So the perks are great. Then there's the part you were talking about, which I kind of call the cherry on top, because we don't really advertise it that much. But for benefits, there are thousands of benefits,
I know.
and
I was going to say, I was looking at it too. I'm like, oh my
yes,
goodness, I didn't really notice how much was included and involved with that. Like, there
yes,
are benefits and discounts all over the place when you
all
look
over.
at parks and then all of these other partners that you're working with as
And I'm
well. I mean,
looking
it's
down
really
the list.
incredible.
Yeah, so it's SeaWorld, you can save 30%. Cirque du Soleil, you can save 30%. Um, you can save 50% on shows and attractions in Las Vegas. Movie
And a
tickets,
lot of
40%
times,
off.
too, Joel, I'll add in people are already staying at popular parks near these attractions and these venues. A
Yes,
lot of times, that's what's might be the landing point that's making somebody take the RV journey in the first place. They're
right.
traveling from their home, they're staying at private parks along the way, and then eventually they make their way to Disney or to SeaWorld or to any of these other attractions like that.
That's
So
right.
it's
And we,
really
and we,
a perfect harmony.
it's perfect. Exactly. Exactly. The idea was give them discounts on the road, and that includes where they stay, where they're going to play, and that's become important these days. Understandably. To give you on this two month trip I just mentioned, I was traveling with our 2.5-year-old daughter, and we went to family friendly places. But two of the parks we went to that are in Campers Card program, there's a Yogi Bear here in Colorado, south of Denver, near Colorado Springs. Awesome
That's a
park.
beautiful park.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh, it's so beautiful, right? So we got discounted there. We got discount there. Waverly enjoyed. I mean, the park's huge, right? Like she enjoyed the playgrounds, the water park, the little bouncy things. Um, and then we stayed at Sun Outdoors Camp, Lake Rudolph in Christmas, Indiana, and that was also really cool. Massive park, so many fun amenities. And one thing I'll say about both of them, super high quality, like really high quality. We saved like $10 at each one, which by the way, that gets me 66% of the way to paying for the membership of $30, 2 stays. Um, and they all had extra spots, right? Like these are big parks. So they had a lot of extra spots. And so, our pitch to them was let us know if you have extra spots you want to fill, and we'll basically help you fill them. And that's how I found the parks. I looked through CampersCard, said, neat, these look awesome. And I became an extra camper that never would have been there before, right? Like my normal approach to staying at places a lot of times is go to KOA.com and see what KOAs are along the way because they have campgrounds for Waverly. In this case, I jumped off my normal approach, discovered 2 new campgrounds, loved them, and I'll be back, right? They're now in my repertoire. Like I'm going to use them in the future. So for the campground, it was extra business, not just once, but many times. And for me, it was delightful because I found a new park and I saved $9 at one and like $5 at the other. It's great.
Exactly. And Joel, as we wrap up here, I wanted to get your opinion on what you've been seeing, maybe macroeconomic trend as you look at all of the parks in the Campers Card system. What are parks who have been the most successful? What are they doing? Like, as you just discussed, they're high quality parks. A lot of times, maybe what's the benefit that they're offering? What are things even from that trip that you enjoyed at some of these properties that like went above and beyond, just to make that experience better? I know a lot of park owners who might be listening to this are saying, if you had such a great time at those two locations, well, like what else did they do to make that great? And
Yes.
as you look across that, always finding ways to improve is, what we do here in the camping industry. So
Yeah.
you just coming off of that trip and having this large network now of parks, what are you seeing there?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm clearly in a very specific category of RVer. I'm in the family RVer at this point. So I'm speaking through that lens. For us, every campground that we booked over these 2 months, I made sure they had a playground, right? As simple as it sounds. And we stayed at some parks that weren't amenity rich, like didn't have pools. They were really like highway parks, but they had playgrounds. And that was great because I needed somewhere to take Waverly and play. So that was great. And then clean bathrooms. I think everyone will say that's like probably number one thing. We really enjoy clean bathrooms. And a facility that just has a safe and comfortable vibe. And, whatever that means, like landscaping goes a long way. It's surprising, but like little touches, like nice landscaping really
Well,
make.
it shows you that the owner cares about the property.
Absolutely. Yes, that's absolutely correct. And then you feel that you're like, they care, that therefore I know that this is like a safe environment because they're taking the time to care. So yeah, little things like landscaping are funny, but they make a big difference.
And then Joel, as we wrap up here, just provide some contact information. How can people go get in touch with the team, list their park? I'll let our listeners know we will have the link to what we showed on the screen, the list a campground page on the Harvest Host site, or I'm sorry, I always get in the routine of saying that, CampersCard site.
Yep.
We will have that linked below so that you can go really easily check that out and really just plug in your details if you want to go ahead and get listed.
Great. Yeah. And so you go to camperscard.com on the very top of the page on the nav bar, list a campground. That's the link. And it's as simple as that screenshot you pulled up. It's a form. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and your park. Our team will do the rest of the work. They'll build a profile, build a listing, send it over for approval, and then we'll publish it live to our members, which are already in the thousands and growing by the day. And you mentioned Harvest Hosts. The reason we don't hide the fact that this is related to Harvest Hosts is because we're putting a lot of our Harvest Host resources behind making it successful. So we have a team of like 60 employees. Many of them are now sharing resources and helping make CampersCard grow fast and properly. We're putting a lot of money into the program, and that money came from Harvest Hosts. And we're able to use that 1 million, RV or email list from Harvest Hosts to get the program to grow so quickly. So there's a very big benefit to this being a part of Harvest Hosts. And I think, anyone who's worked with Harvest Hosts knows that we're professional, we're polite, we're a good partner. And that's exactly what we're trying to bring to the game with CampersCard for campgrounds.
Joel, thanks again for being here.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in to this week's edition of WCM's Park Update Supplier Showcase. As a reminder, the video is going to be available on Facebook and YouTube. This is also an audio edition if you want to listen to it on the go when you're busy at your park as a podcast. All right, thanks, and we'll see you back here next week.